Guys, in this video we are continuing our discussion into concealed carry by looking at different types of sights that are on handguns. If you are new here, this is a third video in a series that I'm doing focusing on concealed carry. Go back on the playlist, start there from the beginning, and watch it all the way through to get a better understanding of what we're going to be doing here. Eventually we're going to be getting into different techniques as far as carrying and things like that, so be sure to subscribe. And if you are interested in getting early access to these videos, go over, become a member of this channel, and help support what we do here. I also want to take a minute to thank those that are currently channel members, and if you are new here, please subscribe, check out all the links down below, and help support the channel in any way you can. Please share the video as well and leave me a comment down below. When we're talking about concealed carry firearms, naturally we need to talk about the various types of sights that are available for them. We see here on my Canic Meta, this particular gun has a red dot, and this is a popular option in this day and age for people, for concealed carriers, and not just competition anymore. We see a lot of people that carry a firearm regularly that are opting to go with an optic. You need to train, regardless of the type of gun you carry, of the type of optic that you have. You need to train with your equipment. Learn what the capabilities of that equipment is prior to having to depend your life on it. Okay, here's another one. This is my Gerson 2311. One thing that I would strongly recommend, if you are someone that chooses to have an optic on your firearm, make sure that you have some way of co-witnessing with that optic. Make sure you have a backup. I do not like when I see a gun that the only thing that it has is that optic, and that there is no way to have any kind of a rear sight beyond that. If that optic fails, it could be a bad thing. Okay, you need to be able to aim that firearm even if that optic goes down. Okay, so consider that carefully. If you decide to carry an optic, by all means get one that has some type of a backup sight on it. You can see here both of mine do. I can aim this gun with or without that dot being on. Okay, I still have this sight. The rear sight of this gun can be, it will co-witness with that optic. Okay, others on the market won't. The standard traditional sight on a handgun has been basically the notch and post sight. As you can see here, this is my Glock 43X. On this particular gun, I have a set of the XS sights, Tritium. This is their notch and post sight. It is a very good sight, a high-vis front post. That is what you want. And stick around, guys. We're going to get into the fundamentals of marksmanship in a future video, so if you want to see that, be sure to subscribe and wait for that video to come out. Okay, but you can see typically what you want is equal height, equal light. Okay, you'll hear that talked about in that future video. You need to be able to see that front sight post, because when you are aiming, that is where your focus needs to be. These are a metal sight. These are a sight that can take a beating if necessary. When you get into manipulating that firearm, who says that you might not need to manipulate off of your sights? If you're, one hand is tied up or whatever, or if it is injured, if you're trying to move a loved one out of the way, then you might necessarily have to manipulate your gun with one hand, and having a metal sight, which is something that I like and that I prefer, is the better option in my opinion. There are different sights out there. You can see here on my Gerson Negotiator, these are an adjustable sight. These are more of a target sight than they are a defensive sight, but that does not mean that it could not be used for defensive purposes. This, you can see here, has a fiber optic insert on the front of it. And it has a pretty good sight picture, and it's probably not going to pick up very well on camera, but for a target pistol, this is a great sight. It's a very good high-vis sight on that gun. And now we are going to get to what I personally choose on mine. My personal favorite type of sight is the XS big dots. Okay, I'm sure that many of you guys have heard about these before. If you have been a follower of my channel for a while, you know that this is my favorite type of sight. That front sight post is extremely high vis. Under a stressful situation, you need to have a good sight picture to be able to get your shots accurate. I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to talk about how that you're just basically point shooting at close range and things like that. The reality is, if you do not practice seeing that sight picture when you draw and aim that firearm, then you're at a greater risk of missing that target than someone who is. You see these people out there just blasting away in all different directions because, as Clint Smith has said in one of his videos, it makes them feel good. Okay, we need to be able to hit an accurate shot, get an accurate shot on target to stop that threat. These sights are the fastest sight in a defensive firearm that I've personally used. That big high-vis front sight post is exactly what I like. When I extend out, as soon as I bring that into my line of sight, my sight immediately falls to that front post, and I can be right where I need it to be. Okay, but again, guys, I know that everyone has their own personal preferences. That is mine. Okay, these here also from XS Sights. Again, it's the more traditional type notch and post sight. It is a very nice sight as well, and I do regularly carry this gun as well. But be proficient with whatever you carry. Get your training, get the time behind that gun with your equipment, carrying the defensive loads that you decide to carry in your gun. Run it through those training courses. Know if the gun is going to be reliable. Those are some of the key features to know about. If the gun is not reliable, you don't need it. If the gun only works with a certain type of ammunition, you need to know what it works with and what it will not work with. Okay, make sure that your magazines work properly. I know with the 43X, there are some aftermarket magazines that step up the capacity to that of a Glock 19. My personal experience with them is I have not had them to hold up the way that the factory mags have. Make sure your equipment works. Don't be in a situation where you are needing to protect yourself or a loved one and find out then that the equipment that you have does not work properly. But guys, this is just another in this series. Be sure to follow along, join along, leave us a comment down below. Would love to hear from you guys. What type of sights do you carry on your firearm? Do you use an optic? Do you use a standard notch and post sight? Let me know down in the comments below, guys. Be sure to check out all the rest of the videos in this series and on my channel. Thanks for watching. Visit my website at boomsticktactical.com, and we'll see you next time.